Parents and families, thank you very much for watching this video in lieu of our traditional freshman go to school night. My name is Shada Crosby and I am your student's biology teacher. In this video, I wanted to really quickly talk about what we are going to be covering this year in our class and where you can find information to better help your child at home. On this first slide, I just wanted to show you my schedule. We are a little bit different this year in that we have these longer block periods versus past years where we had 40-minute days and 80-minute days. And the intention was to try and reduce the amount of classes your child has on any given day. So if your child has biology in the morning, they attend school, whether it's at home or in person on blue days. And if they have afternoon biology, they attend my class on green days. And then on Trevian days, we just have 35-minute periods. And down here, you can kind of see the periods that I teach. I'm 1, 4, 7, and 9 on Trevian days. This is my family. We live in district. We live actually in Avoca district. So my boys, Alexander and Elliot, they attend Avoca. They're in 3rd grade this year. And then our daughter, she's 3. Her name's June, and she's in preschool. We have a dog named Tiki. He's a Boston Terrier, and my husband is Chad. And so we do a lot of fun things. We go to the beach in the summertime. This is us apple picking, and that's just my dog looking really cute. A little bit about myself. I'm from the DC area. I actually taught in Bethesda at a school called Walter Johnson High School for 7 years before I moved here to the Chicago area in 2007. And I have been teaching at New Trier ever since I moved. So I was trying to do the math. I think this is my 14th year, but I've been here at New Trier for a while, and I've been teaching for over 20 years. I love to camp. I love to garden and cook for my family. And of course, I spend a lot of time with my kids doing activities with them when I'm not teaching. So this slide talks about what topics we're going to be covering for the year. And just to let you know, this biology course is just a survey. We don't go into a lot of depth. We mostly do breadth and not depth. If your child is really interested in, let's say, anatomy, we do offer an anatomy course. Or if they're really interested in DNA and genetics, we have a forensics class. Or maybe they might even be looking at taking AP Biology junior or senior year, which is also an option. But typically, this is a survey. And obviously, this year is different in that we have, we're doing a lot more Zooming and less in person. So I'm not sure we're going to get to everything that we typically would on a normal year, but we're hoping to do our best. We cover things like biochemistry, which is what we're doing now, genetics, ecology, biotechnology, and anatomy. Now, if you were to go to Canvas and you were to click on the biology square, it would take you to my homepage, and this is what the homepage looks like. I have red arrows pointing to the 3 things that I think are really, really important for you to know where they are so that you can better help your student at home. The first, on the left-hand side, is our Zoom link. All your student needs to do is actually click on that Zoom link, and I have the same Zoom link for all of my classes with no password. So I've made it as easy as possible for them to get in, and that link just, they literally click it, and they have to, once I start the session, they can get in right away. Going down in the bottom left corner is the PowerSchool link. This is where you would get grades. I do not use the Canvas gradebook. I use the PowerSchool gradebook. So you would click on that, and I'll talk more about that in a second. You would log in, and you'd be able to access your child's grades for my class. And then lastly, this link right here, this little calendar, is our weekly calendar. So I know that's really small, but I show 1 week at a time of what we're going to be doing. And so if they click on that, they'd be able to see the weekly calendar in the pop-up. So this is just a snapshot of our weekly calendar, and I really apologize. I did my best to get the snapshot, but the top got cut off. The day is on the left. What we're doing for the daily agenda, I should say, is in the middle. And then the homework is the left-hand column. And these all have headers. It just got cut off in my screenshot. So for example, Tuesday, October 6th, it was a blue day. I say what track is attending for the day. We have kind of a bulleted list here of what I'm hoping to accomplish for the day. If I have anything the students need to access, it's hyperlinked so they can actually just click on it and access the item. And I model that for them when I'm Zooming with them. And then finally, homework is listed on the right-hand side. If it's something that they need to, again, download or click, I hyperlink it so they can access it there. Now going back to PowerSchool, you can log in and check your child's progress. You are provided a username and password by the school. And so you can log in at any time and see their grades, and you always can email me if you have any questions. This slide here is just some suggestions about how to be successful in my class. I always encourage my students to just be on time, even if they're at home in a Zoom. I know it can be challenging because you've got things going on at home that can be distracting, but try and pretend like being at home and sitting at a desk is as if you were at school. Listen and stay engaged. Try and limit those distractions if possible. And I encourage you to maybe help them set up an area at home if they haven't done so already, where they can sit down at a table and not be, in bed or on a couch laying down, because it's just harder to pay attention than if you're actually like sitting down somewhere and have your iPad up in front of you and, doing your best to kind of pretend like you were there at school. Making sure you do the work and turning it in on time. And Canvas is not perfect. We've had a few issues. So I've been telling my kids double and even triple checking that the file was uploaded when you turn it in. There should be 2 places it says successfully uploaded on the page. So they just have to make sure that it says that in the 2 different places, and then typically that means it has been uploaded. I encourage the students to talk to me if they need help. They might have to schedule time outside of our Zoom times to meet with me. Times could be after school at 3:15, on X block days where we end a little early at 2 o'clock. They can meet with me during that X block. Students can meet with me on Trevian days because I'm going to be moving toward more asynchronous days on those days and having open office hours for kids that have questions. So all of those are ways that a student can get help. I'm encouraging more talking with me via Zoom than going back and forth through email. One, because it's just easier for me to explain something if I'm talking versus trying to just explain something in an email. And also, I feel like kids can clarify and ask more questions if they're just talking to me than having to write things up in an email. So encourage them to talk with me, and if they want to meet outside of class, please have them ask me. Lastly, we have the AAC, and our tutor there, his name is Mr. O'Hare, and he is available on Mondays and Thursdays, and he is open on his Zoom almost all day. So I would suggest to have your child pop in and meet him, and if they have any questions, they also can use him as a resource as well. The 4-year science sequence is biology now, because that's what your child is enrolled in. And then next year, they can either take geoscience or chemistry. Students cannot take physics sophomore year if they are in biology this year. They either have to have taken physics as a freshman or they have to wait until junior year. But next year, we'd be looking at environmental geoscience or chemistry. Other options are we have a pretty well-established summer school program. And we also have a lot of electives. which are outlined here. And those are just a few of them. Those are not all of them. We'll talk more about the registration sequence in January when we do registration. But just to put that in your ear, these are what we're looking at next year. And that's it. I really want to thank you so much for watching my video. And please email me or call if you ever have any questions about your student.